thank you everybody, the audience here who took out time on a Saturday evening to listen to me. And maybe I would be happy if at the end of the session I leave at least a couple of thoughts in your mind where you can take home and work on it and maybe benefit out of it. So I'll just share my screen and a couple of slides. I am not keeping it a very Gyanwala session. It will be more of an interactive. I'll be happy to hear out questions and opinions from you guys because you are the one who need to go out and implement these whatever I say or whatever you are learning right now. Let me know once my screen is visible.
Sure, Piyush.
Sorry. Yeah. Is it?
Yes, we can see it, Piyush. Yeah.
So a quick intro about myself. Currently, I work with Delhivery, which is the largest supply chain company of the country right now. I lead a couple of business product verticals for them, including the last mile, including import, internal revenue, and all. Prior to joining Delhivery, I started and ran a company called recruiters.com, which was primarily into recruitment tech and solution and hiring solutions, which I exited with Delhivery. So when I joined Delhivery, it was like my entire company got acquired by Delhivery and we exited Recruitist. And that is where all my sales angle, all my sales learning came from, where I built a company from scratch. I made a crore revenue and exited it. That is where my first, you can say, brush to branding, and where I learned about branding, and which actually helped me. So it's not a classroom session. Unfortunately, no B school teaches branding. Sorry. Unfortunately, as Himadri correctly said, no B school teaches sales right now in the country. Similarly, no B school teaches personal branding also in the country. We all B schools have a course on branding and sales and marketing, but not on personal branding. So, and this is something which helped me really a lot in my career of almost 10 years in doing sales, in building a recognition, in building a reputation, and in fact, in getting a job also. So I thought I'll take you guys all through this. So what is personal branding? If that is very important for us to understand. And let me know if by any chance, if you are not able to hear me or I am going a bit too fast, please let me know. Will stop me at that moment. Himadri, so far so good, right? My voice is clear?
Absolutely, Piyush. Loud and clear.
Cool. So a personal brand is what people think about you when you are not there. I might say on your face, you're an amazing personality. But what I feel about you and what I talk about you when you are not there is what the branding matters. It means like we all know HUL is a great company, and an HUL CEO need not be in front of me to say that HUL is a great company because that's the brand HUL or ITCs of the world have built, Coca-Cola of the world have built. So when you're not there, how are you being perceived by somebody else in the industry? Is what it's a brand says, and when it's about yourself, it becomes a personal branding. And for people in sales, because I'm assuming this audience is mostly concerned about sales, and in that mixed percentage of B2B and B2C, by personal branding, you make a conscious effort to differentiate yourself from competitors. If iimjobs also go out in the market, or Juno School also go out in the market and talk about the same thing which everybody else is talking, it will not help Juno School or Piyush Sarawagi or anybody else to differentiate and create a brand recall in the mind of the industry people or your target audience. So you tell industry, hey, I am a thought leader in this particular field. By doing so, you differentiate yourself from competition, and in the end, you try to derive some monetary value out of it. The monetary value can be a good network. It could be direct sales for a company or a product which you are pitching, or it could be a job opportunity, anything. Sales is just not about selling products. It's about everything. It's a life skill, as Himadri mentioned in the beginning. So I hope I have been able to establish what is a personal branding. It's like your perception in the mind of people whom you meet or people whom you need to meet. Yeah. So now, why do you need personal branding? I don't think it's required an explanation. I have already spoken a lot about in the last slide. But when you go out and sell anything in the market, the funnel says you first build a story, then you build a relationship, and then you pitch your product or service. And that is the most effective way of selling a service or a product, mostly service, especially in business. There's some noise at the back. Huh, sure. So especially in services or a service which you're selling to a customer, which has very long, high lifetime value, where you need to sell it throughout the career, or the like Naukri.com, they may onboard you when you are a fresher, and they stay with you throughout your career. Those kind of services or products, you need to have a story behind it, and then differentiate yourself with the competitor, as I already said, and then create a value for it. Like, people don't buy products and services. First, they buy a relationship, and they buy a story. And by creating a story, you build trust in you. Like, if you see my LinkedIn profile, if you go back and see my LinkedIn profile, you will see I am giving a lecture with a background of Recruities, which was my organization. And the cover page is a photo with the Prime Minister of India that time, Mr. Manmohan Singh, Dr. Manmohan Singh. So when I put a picture with Dr. Manmohan Singh, it says that, okay, this person has been there. He has met him in personal life. So that gives a very different notation or a value to my audience, where, okay, the person who is coming to meet you, he knows somebody, he has done something in life types. It is not just anybody else. It creates a perception about you. When I was giving a lecture to someone with the Recruiters in the brand, in the cover screen, it says something that, okay, the brand is something that is already established, or it is a good enough brand. So in the words of Zig Ziglar, people like you if they listen to you, but if they trust you, then only they will do business with you. And especially in B2B enterprise software, SaaS, people will only do business with you if they trust you. I have seen instances where we did not get a deal, or we did not give a deal as a part of my current organization, Delhivery, and other organizations, because we just could not trust the salesperson on the other side of the table. The product was amazing, the services were great, but we could not have trust from the person on the other side of the table. Why? Because for whatever reason, the way he or she was pretending to be, the way he or she was pitching his services, we did not have that trust on him. And when you meet somebody for a sales, the first thing which, so when you meet someone, the first thing you do, if somebody pitches you something, you go and Google that person. You go and search him, the person on the LinkedIn, and that is where the trust comes in. I'll change the slide. So I spoke about what is personal branding. We also spoke about why do you need personal branding to create a trust in your audience. Now, how can you do so? There are umpteen ways of doing so. I have kept it very short, like with 4 points, which I follow personally. If you have any other questions or about how else can we do, I'll be happy to take you through. But what I do was, if you Google Piyush Sarawagi, the first 10 searches will be for me only, but it's a pretty common name. So I made sure I am available online, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on all sort of social media, but I am not available anywhere negatively. So I have a decent presence on Quora, but all the platforms where I am present, that converges into the same theme, where I talk about careers and jobs. So if you go on Quora, you will find answers from me about jobs. You go on LinkedIn, you will see articles from me on jobs and how to get a good job, or my experiences about job hunting. And you will not find a negative social media post. So if I am not happy with someone, I will not go and bash that person online, because I do not want to leave a negative footprint. A digital footprint remains forever, for hundreds of years. You say somebody something offline, it doesn't remain there. People forget. But you leave something on digital media, it remains forever. So create a social media strategy, and with social media, I don't mean only LinkedIn or Facebook. Wherever you want, or people are there on some listing website in the US, it's Craigslist or whatever. Build your profile there and make it positive. Don't make it look negative. And then once you have done that, You focus on the primary source of medium, which is in sales. In B2B, it's mostly LinkedIn. If you are in a B2C, something like a creative artist or a design content, then Instagram becomes very important. If you are into learners and educational videos, then YouTube becomes very important. So figure out what is the channel you need to have, figure out what kind of audience you have, and devise a content strategy around it. So when I was running Recruitist, my audience were always co-founders and founders who were starting to build teams. So we worked on a model where we reached out to founders who just raised their seed funds or angel funds, connected with them, and built the entire team along with policies. So we made our all our posts were about how do you grow your team, how do you do initial hiring. So we made relevant content for my audience on relevant channel. For me, the relevant channel is Instagram. Sorry, not LinkedIn. The content is how do you build a great team, and the medium is LinkedIn. So that is what I followed. Now it's up to you. What you have to understand, you have to define what channel do you need to. It's most relevant for you, and then build a strategy around it. And if possible, give a personal touch to it. Like don't just give a gyan on building how to build a great team, but give a gyan where how you built a great team, or you help someone build a great team. That again gives you a trust angle. Okay, ये बंदा ज्ञान नहीं दे रहा है, इसने actually में करा है. And once you give those real-time experiences, people get trust on you. And once they get trust on you, they will be willing to pay. In India as a market, people are willing to pay premium for services if they can trust you. We always commanded premium. I know people running digital agencies with 5 people, 6 people, working at a very exorbitant premium pricing and working amazing work. They don't expand until unless they are very sure about the quality, because they are charging a very premium, and they are able to charge premium because the clients trust them blindly. So figure out your channel, create a strategy, figure out your audience, and build content around it. You can say it is personal branding. If you can say it's content marketing as well. They are very similar terms. So that's it. This brings me to the last slide of my presentation today. What we did. So my first venture was at the age of 17. I was an engineering student. When I went to engineering college, I saw the computers were just coming into India, and a remote part of Sikkim I studied from. I started an IT services company where in Sikkim, in my college, I started selling and establishing computers, LAN networks, and Sikkim is an industrial center. A lot of industries there. So that was my first venture. We did a revenue of approximately 1 crore that year in 4 years of my engineering days, paid for my engineering college fee, and also exited that company. So I sold it off to a local player, local big company, and I made decently cash it out. And the whole reason I was able to that time was I established my personal connects with almost all the CXOs of the industries in this area, and also the directors of my college. So my first client was my college only, where I established the computer lab of my college, renovated the computer lab. And that I was able to do that because I was in a very personal touch, connect with my stakeholders. And that I was able to do. That time was the time of, there was no LinkedIn that time, but I was able to meet them personally, greet them, and give relevant content to them. If you need a Wi-Fi router, what kind of Wi-Fi do you need? So go back, study, read, and come back. And at the age of 17, 18, building 1 crore in revenue, pocketing it all to you and your family, that gives you a different kind of feeling. Trust me, there's nothing better than that. My second venture came at Recruiters, which I started 5 years back, and then I moved to Delhivery, where I told you about how we were helping founders build their companies. 100% of my clients came from LinkedIn. I did not reach out to a single client except for the first 2 clients with whom I started the company with. What we did was we did an extremely strong brand on LinkedIn, starting with profile picture, cover picture, what we were doing, who were we. It's very important to tell a story of who I was. Where did I go for my college? Where did I work before starting the venture? Which all countries did I work? I made it very visible on the profile. And then I followed correct hashtags on LinkedIn. So any person who was looking for a recruit slash hashtag recruitment, their post was coming to me, and then I was creating a relevant content for them. So, like for example, there's a fintech firm who was coming and setting up their shop in a place called Mangalore in India. Now they had posted something like, "We are looking for a place and people in Mangalore." I saw that. I came across that. We built content. How can we recruiters as a company help you hire talent in the outskirts of the cities and not Bangalore? And especially we focused on the coastal area of Konkan, from Bangalore, from Goa to say, not Madurai, what's the place called? Manipal. We created an article specifically for that, made sure that they were a part of my network. They read that article and then they reach out to me. Trust me, that was my biggest client. They turned out to be my biggest client, and I didn't have to reach out to them. I created content. First, I created a brand of recruiters, a strong brand meeting with Prime Minister. Then I created content which is very relevant to them, because everybody is looking for help in hiring talent. You will not come across a company who will say that hiring is not a challenge for them. And every agency is looking for clients. But then how do you differentiate yourself in such a crowded market? That is what was most important for us. And that is how we did this. And when they came to us, we were able to charge premium. Okay, hey, we don't work at this percentage, we work at this percentage. We know what we do. You have come to us because you have seen something in us, and this is what we build. So that is how we cracked our largest client. And once we converted them, obviously it's my what we call the delivery comes into picture, where whatever be honest. So there were times where we were not able to fulfill the requirements, and we were very honest with them. Sorry, nahi hoega. What you're expecting is wrong, or I will not be able to meet this expectation. Let's work together and find out something else. We sat with them, we explained them the position, we explained them the job reality of the India market, like whatever the tech market was going that time, and fulfilled our commitments. We made sure till the time we don't have enough bandwidth, we did not onboard a new client, because fulfilling my commitments was very important to them, because I was charging a premium, and I was charging the premium because they came to me, and they came to me because I had a strong brand on LinkedIn. So that is how the whole sales funnel was connected. And obviously, so that is what my two experiences for building two ventures and encashing both of them. Now I think next year I'll start something again, but this is primarily what I want to tell you in this. Identify your medium. What is the most relevant medium for you? It could be LinkedIn for a B2B salesperson. It could be Instagram for somebody who is into design or creative field. It could be YouTube for someone who is into educational videos or learner academies. Or figure it out. That is your job. Figure out who is your target audience, whether it is co-founders, it is VPs, who was the decision maker in your journey. Build a brand which suits their requirement, and a content which suits their requirement, which meets their expectation. If you are catering to, say, design houses, build a portfolio of designs. If you are catering to tech company, build a portfolio. Where did you place your engineers to, or what kind of projects your engineers have done, or what kind of skill sets you bring to the table, and then reach out to them indirectly, not directly. When you start reaching out to somebody directly, it becomes sales. It doesn't become branding. Branding is where you create a recall in their mind, and they reach out to you when you need them, when they need you. That is what we did, and that is what I wanted to tell you. LinkedIn is an amazingly strong platform for anybody who wants to be in a B2B sales. There's a platform you cannot avoid. And everybody, every CEO, every influencer, everybody is on LinkedIn. The first time any proposal comes to us also in Delhivery, the first thing which we do is we go and check the LinkedIn profile of the person who has sent the proposal to us. Where did they go for schooling? What have they done? What kind of articles are they writing? We read all of them before meeting them, because it's very important to know whom you are meeting in today's world. So yeah, that's it from my side. I just took 24 minutes. So I'll leave the forum open now. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Yeah. Or if you want me to go through any slide again, please let. Anybody has any questions, please let me know.
Hi, Piyush. I have a question.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'm not able to. Sure.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Jason.
Yeah, good evening. As you told, don't do a sales directly, do it indirectly. So, like I'm into a solar energy business. We do a solar power plant project for CNI customer. And those are large scale project costing mostly more than 50 lakhs. And our target audience are mostly CXO, like managing directors, CEOs, or CFO. But the first thing, doing a indirect sales is very difficult on LinkedIn because those people are unknown to you. So when we reach them first time on the LinkedIn, so after hi, hello, it is not easy to keep that conversation going on.
Okay, so I'll tell you a scenario. So your question is, how do I sell to CXOs on LinkedIn, correct?
Yeah, right.
For a high value project like 50 lakhs or whatever you told, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not saying don't do an active sales, don't keep an active sales channel where people keep calling cold emails. That is something I'm not against it. But what I'm trying to say is via personal branding, when you go out, reach out to those people, don't immediately send a request on LinkedIn and send hi, hello, or whatever it is. That your pitch will most probably die that time itself. Rather, see what kind of hashtags what kind of activities the CEO doing on LinkedIn. Most of the time, CEOs are active on LinkedIn these days. Okay. So what are the hashtags the person is following? What kind of articles he's liking? Or what is the content he's posting? There are two scenarios here. Either the person is active on LinkedIn or he's not active on LinkedIn. If he's active on LinkedIn, your job becomes easy because you see what he's following. Or suppose he liked an article which says, or he commented on an article which says that how India's green power is going to change the world. Suppose I'm giving you a very hypothetical example. Now, as a job, your job is to go and engage with him on that article. Okay, sir, you think India's energy woes can be removed via green energy, but do you think India can do it in the next 25 years? Something like that. So I'll give you a live example. I connected with Citibank's India CEO through one of those such posts, where a person was bashing Citibank India because of doing some bad delivery, bad experience in the system, and Citibank CEO was involved in that post. That hey, I am trying, and I went and wrote something in support of the Citibank India CEO on the LinkedIn post, tagging him there. The next moment was I had a personal message from him. Thank you, Piyush, and we understood. We appreciate your gesture on a public platform, and he sent me a request, and we connected after that. So when you see a CXO, if you send a request to him and immediately you send a hi, hello, you will not get a response. 99% of the time, you will not get a response. If you send a hi, hello, and then also send a sales pitch, there's a high probability that you won't get a response. There are always exceptions, but it has never worked for me. How it always worked for me is I did some homework background about that CXO. Where is he going on LinkedIn or on his social media? Is he attending some event? Because there are events on social LinkedIn now. Is he attending any event? So what is his interest area? And then create an article around it and tag people, tag the correct hashtag, solar power, current solar power in India types. There's high probability that if you do it for 5 consecutive times, 6 consecutive times, and the hashtags are also relevant, you will then pop up on his profile. And that will create a recall. So any B2B sales is a 3-month, minimum 3 to 6 months cycle. It doesn't happen by active cold calls immediately, most of the time. With my experience, it could be different. So you engage, first identify who is your audience, which is CXO of a solar power company. Now identify what are the interest areas, what kind of articles is he liking, where is he commenting, and then try to engage with him there or create a content which he would again come and engage with. So create a very compelling article about solar power, post it on different forums. There are groups also now on LinkedIn which you can do. And then when you come into his what you call consideration list, we call it, a subconscious mind में आप आ जाओगे, हाँ ये बंदा solar में करता है. Then you engage with him. And when you engage with him also, then you don't sell immediately in the first call पे. Sell it in the third call. First call में आप बताओ कि solar power क्यों जरूरी है. फिर आप बताओगे आप जो कर रहे हो वो क्यों अमेजिंग है. Then आप बताओगे कि आप हमसे लेके देखो. It's a long cycle. It will not happen in a month. So my LinkedIn took me from 1,000 followers to 12,000 followers almost a year. So, and on this 1 year, I was continuously posting. So example, if you go and search on my LinkedIn, the last post I wrote was tagging the CEOs of urban company because I needed something. And the post became viral. I connected with almost all the leadership of urban company because of that post. But the post was viral. I tagged them how they are doing a great job, and for people like me who shift cities, and the urban company folks come and clean everything. So that is how you will have to create a content for them. I hope I've answered it.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thank you, Piyush.
Welcome. Anything else? Anybody? We're all good then. Himadri?
Yeah, guys, any questions you have for Piyush, please feel free to ask. I'm sure you have a lot of questions because a lot of you are trying to touch base with people on LinkedIn, right? So I think he's the right person who will address those questions for you. Anybody has any question?
Piyush sir, I had one. So LinkedIn approach till the conversation is understandable, but then how do you engage over a call is something that I would like to understand.
So you are saying you identified your person, like target.
Yes.
You have
connected over LinkedIn. And then when you want to do get that person over a video conference or a video call to pitch your product, how will you engage that person to get him through that journey and onto the VC?
So again, I will only speak about from my experience, what I did and what worked and what did not work.
Absolutely.
So when I connected with the CXOs on LinkedIn, and obviously the next natural course was you first connect on LinkedIn and then get on a video call most of the time. Video calls, I always kept it very crisp. So one mistake which I did in video calls was I tried to give gyan about how I was a thought leader and all. That did not work. People did not have that kind of patience to listen to me. So after a couple of failed attempts, what I tried doing and which worked for me is, as soon as I was getting into the call, I give a very brief intro कि मैं कौन हूँ, मैं कहाँ से आया, मैं क्या करता हूँ. उसमें in my career के whatever is my highlights, I make sure that I put them like आप वो बहुत layman language में बोलते हैं हमने क्या उखाड़ा है टाइप से. अगर वैसा है तो वो, अगर नहीं है तो कुछ बना के बेसिक सा. उसके immediately I come to a table point what I can bring to a table, why are you on this call and how can I help you out. Straight away come to the point मुद्दा, because का जनरल टाइम नहीं होती है, concentration नहीं होता है, 15 minutes का विंडो भी नहीं मिलता है, एटलीस्ट मुझे नहीं मिला था उसमें. So like I told one of the CXO where, hey, I can build your team in the next 3 months. If I don't build, don't give me money. This was the exact precise thing I told him. When I said that 3 months, I can build your team and you can go and check with these people, I had his attention. And the next thing was, okay, then let's connect my talent acquisition head and I want to take it forward from there. You have 3 months to prove yourself. And that's worked for me. But every CEO might have a different approach. It's advisable before you get into a video call with any CXO or any do a thorough research about that person. What does he like? What he doesn't like? What kind of interests are? A couple of times I also did. I found a common connect with CXOs. I did my research. Okay, the guy went to the same school where I went to, or my friend went to, or I knew at least. So I started, somehow I brought that topic into a common interest topic. It helped me. More than that, it depends from CXO to CXO or person to person. But in a video call or call, keep it very to the point. What value can you bring to the table? And why? Why would they give you a chance? That is what I did, at least. Did I answer your question?
Piyush, I have one more question. Let's say, for example, I make a content on Infosys that Infosys use 49% renewable energy of its total consumption. And I make a content on that. And there are some people, decision maker, who is from HCL Technologies or TCS or same IT Infosys like company. So is it okay if we tag them and ask them how they are going to switch on solar energy?
Yeah, why not? People all the time do that. Yeah, people all the time do that. People tag me also. Random people tag me and ask my opinion about their CVs. I am not a CV expert. I have a full-time job, but they tag me, and if I have time and if I think that adds value to me, also I do that. I go back and give them my inputs or wherever, and I also have done that. So there is absolutely no harm. Maximum क्या होगा? Respond नहीं करेंगे, right?
Right.
उससे ऊपर तो कुछ होएगा नहीं.
Obviously.
So what's the harm in trying? And it works. It has worked for me. I have tagged people on such posts, and everybody wants to be seen as a Gyani on LinkedIn. So if you ask about their views, most of the time people reply. CK Bidla's group CEO replied to me on one such tag I did.
Okay, it won't feel like it won't feel awkward to them, right? Because they don't know me. They are just in my connection on LinkedIn.
It doesn't matter, no. So nobody knows anybody on LinkedIn, to be honest, right? We are all just connections, and we see posts and make an opinion based on that. So people are there to network. That's the primary agenda of being on LinkedIn. So there's absolutely no harm in doing that. But don't do it repeatedly every day. The same person, then he will get irritated, annoyed, and if he's not responding, you keep tagging him, maybe he will block you. Don't do that. But there's absolutely no harm in asking somebody his opinion, his or her opinion, with respect. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I have done that myself. I have got benefits out of it. People do it to me also.
Okay. Thank you, Piyush.
So I have tagged CXOs of many companies whom I wanted to target.
Okay.
So the best way is, I don't know about everybody's business different. Go appreciate the company and tag the leaders, and appreciate in a genuine way, where what actually has happened to you or with some real-time experience. It helps. Do it continuously for 2-3 times for a couple of months, maybe different content. Then there will be a recall for you. I have met people in elevators and lifts where they had a recall of my name and my brand. I did not know them.
Okay, got it. Thank you, Piyush.
One more point, last point, I would say, when you increase your LinkedIn presence, don't just send random requests to everybody and with a view to increase your counts. That won't help. That I had done that mistake once, and my whole feed was flooded with irrelevant content for me. Don't do that. Well, connect with people whom you think are decision makers for your business and relevant audience for your business.
You want to say we need to connect only with the relevant audience, right?
Relevant audience and relevant industry.
Okay.
So example, I once connected with someone and they were pretty active on LinkedIn. So my entire feed was something which was absolutely irrelevant to me. And then you miss out on the correct hashtags. Don't do that.
Okay.
If you are into solar power, try you are connected with the decision makers in solar power industry at least. Then energy as a larger space. Then something else. But at least solar ka hona chahiye.
Got it. Thank you, Piyush.
That's what I did, and it helped me a lot. So I made my entire money while LinkedIn in the last while running the company. 100% of my revenue came via LinkedIn. LinkedIn and networks. Second degree, third degree, somebody referred me and all.
That's great.
And when inbound sales come, they pay you more also in mission service industry.
Yeah, because you are already authoritative in their eyes.
Yeah, and you can command a premium that time. When you reach out to someone, you are at the back end, right? On the back foot. So
It's
that's
like you are seeking something from them when you reach to them.
Yeah.
But when they reach out to you, then they are seeking something from you.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's a transaction where you get money, but it's like the power equation changes.
Right.
That's why building a strong brand on LinkedIn has helped me a lot. Matlab, I can easily say I earn more than 1 crore in a year because of being on LinkedIn, actively present on LinkedIn without any advertisements now, only because of content.
Right. So you post content on a daily basis or just on a weekly basis sufficient? Because again,
that
to make a
timing,
content, you need a time.
Yeah. So now I don't post in such content because I'm no longer into sales or no longer looking for job types. But when I was running actively the company, I was almost posting every alternate day. And there are timings of it, like LinkedIn. There are a couple of algorithms which you should know. Like LinkedIn will kill your post if you don't get certain traction on your post in the next 1 hour of posting. So make sure your friends, your relatives, anybody goes and likes, comments, share whatever content you are posting in the next 30 minutes.
Okay.
That is important. And the timings where your posts see most engagement, like in the evening when people are commuting back from office, they're in traffic, LinkedIn gets the most amount of traction that time. So post at that point of time, or post at 11 a.m. in the morning. Read through it. What is the time where people are most active on LinkedIn in your area, in city, or whatever? They're generating data around it. So use that data wisely. Like again, people become active on LinkedIn around 11 p.m. at night because that's the time you're hitting the bed. So hitting the bed के time पे आप scroll करते हो basically phone लेके अपना dinner विनर करने के बाद. तो उस time पे आप post करो and make sure 30 minutes में लोग like, comment, share कर दें.
Got it. Thank you, Piyush.
Yeah, Piyush. Hi, good evening. Vijay this side. Actually, I have a question regarding that. Basically, you tell us that you are a job recruiter earlier.
I ran a company where we were helping
Yeah.
founders build entire end-to-end teams from hiring से लेके salary benchmarking, everything. And
Yeah. So, yeah, means how you can attract the candidate over to your means we can say that over you got a certain kind of project. Okay, fine. Some X project is there. Means what are the key skills? What are the potential candidate you are going to hire for that one? How will you going to catch their CV over the LinkedIn, or means basically how do you connect the right people for the right project?
So connecting with people, job seekers is very easy. Like you have database of Naukri.com or IMJobs or anything, but converting them into a candidate and getting them a job is the most difficult part, I would say. I would know if I go on LinkedIn, I put some keywords, Java developers, I will get anyway thousands of CVs there. So
Sorry. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that is not the difficult part. The difficult part is where the two things. You sell your clients to them first, why they should join the client which you are pitching to them to. First part. Second part, how do you make sure you are finding the correct set of talent for your client? So pitching the client, if you're not working for a large multinational company, then again the story and the brand of the client becomes very important. So we used to build stories for our clients. How my client is an amazing client because of the great founders or the great revenue model or the great whatever. And that effort we used to take, not the client, because normally clients or HRs don't have that much of bandwidth or whatever. And agencies also don't do that. We used to do that. Used to build complete PPT about the story behind the client, and then go to candidates and convince them this is an amazing company, amazing benefits. Why don't you come and have a meet? And since we are mostly working on kind of leaderships and those hirings, so that trust wala part is something which we could do. After the first meeting has happened, there's nothing much you can do about it. It's like now the other factor, like how much money, how much increment, how other opportunities, the job role, those become very important. Those take over. So your job as a recruitment agency or hiring manager stops at the time of stops identifying the correct talent and enabling the first meeting between the two companies, between the two parties, I would say. Uske baad, there's nothing much you can do much. A couple of hygiene factors you can keep doing that, keep in contact and all, but usse aap nahi kar sakte ho.
Okay. But you said I have one more question. Suppose you have a something project X and you need a 5 or 7 guy over there. Okay. आपने सीवी सेलेक्ट कर लिया, सारा कुछ कर लिया, आपने पिक्चर स्टोरी सारा कुछ मतलब वहां पे ये डिफाइन कर दिया. If the client didn't agree, so what's your next step? You or already hired the people for the project to smoothly go on, particularly like that. If the client is not agree or they are not satisfied with the clients who are supplying you or might be going for the project to completion the project, then what's your next move? Did you go for a real means? Suppose you have a project something X, okay, the client give you full authority to hire the people for completion of the project. You done all the basic part and all that, means from interview to joining process and all that. If might be getting something glitch over the project and due to the company members and all that, then how will you cope up with this particular scenario? मीन्स काम नहीं हो रहा है पर्टिकुलरली जैसा स्मूथली होना चाहिए था. सपोज 6 मंथ का प्रोजेक्ट है, अगर वो कहीं पे डिले होके 8 मंथ के आसपास जा रहा है, तो वो टेक्निकल ग्लिच को मतलब आप कैसे फुलफिल करोगे?
टू बी ऑनेस्ट मैं अभी भी ठीक से समझा नहीं कि मतलब
एक प्रोजेक्ट है ठीक है, उसका टाइम ड्यूरेशन सपोज 6 मंथ है. 6 मंथ के लिए आपने सपोज ये टैलेंट को हायर करके मतलब
बट मैं अपने लिए हायर नहीं कर रहा, मैं तो कंपनी के लिए हायर करता.
हाँ, कंपनी के लिए ही सपोज हायर किया आपने. अगर वो ड्यू टू सम इनकन्वीनियंस वर्क वो प्रोजेक्ट अगर डिले हो रहा है तो कॉस्टिंग भी ज्यादा जाएगा, सैलरी वगैरह भी ज्यादा जाएगा, तो उस चीज को कैसे मतलब आप ये मिनिमाइज करोगे उस सिचुएशन में, ये मैं आपसे जानना चाह रहा हूँ.
तो एज अ कंपनी और एज अ रिक्रूटमेंट एजेंसी?
एज अ रिक्रूटमेंट एजेंसी.
बट रिक्रूटमेंट एजेंसी डजंट हैव दैट रिस्क, नो. Is the company who wants to hire people. Agency is only a bridge between the two people, right? It doesn't involve the cost. Thoda involve hota hai, which is like the sourcing and all, but you are not paying, not committing to the candidate a job, right? You're committing candidate an interview.
Yes.
After that, it's between the candidate and the company. If they are not willing to make an offer, you can't do much there. You can, the best you can do is, since you are in the market, you know multiple companies who are hiring similar talent, you can cross-sell them. This company is shutting down, so there's some other company who might be requiring some same kind of talent. This is one thing which you can do. Second thing which we used to do was, and a couple of startups are also doing right now in the market, is they reach out to other agencies or other people whom they think then can absorb these people. So as a token of gesture or goodwill, you try to help those people out. But there's no cost risk on you as such.
Okay, fine.
Because you are not putting your resources there, and you can't do that. The agreement says that your job stops at being the bridge between the two agencies, between the two parties.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Anything more regarding personal branding sales that I'll be happy to answer. Madhuri, I think we are good to go then.
Guys, no more questions? You guys don't have any questions for Piyush? No?
Yeah, hi Madhuri, good evening. Hello Piyush.
Good evening.
Good evening Piyush. Yeah. So Piyush, just wanted to know one thing, like I am basically a UI UX designer part-time, okay, and sometimes I don't know like how can you make your website content, or as you said you were posting content and people used to get in touch with you. Okay, so like if you want to make your website content attractive or interactive, what we should use more, like we should use more text, or we should focus on the audience interest more, like how we can.
Can you simplify the question please?
Like say if we have wanted to write a content, as you said, कि personal branding LinkedIn पे जब हम करते हैं, so we should also have a strong portfolio for that, you know.
Yes.
Right, we
Yeah.
should have, but some right now we don't have it, so well, like we try to write some blog or you know, so that time we don't know कि we should use more text to attract our client, or we should focus on the like-minded
Design.
people, or you can say the audience interest. So what should उसके अंदर मतलब कैसे उस content को बहुत ज्यादा useful बना सकते हैं, और वो words को कितना useful बना सकते हैं हम.
So for designers, what on
Like
LinkedIn?
on LinkedIn के लिए भी अगर हम पोस्ट डालते हैं तो how we can, because sometimes क्या होता है ना कि अपनी उस ऑनलाइन कम्युनिटी में लाइक बिजनेसमैन होते हैं, कॉम्पिटिटर्स होते हैं, लाइक माइंडेड पीपल होते हैं, तो उसको कैसे सम अप करके आप एक अच्छा यू नो अट्रैक्ट कर सकते हो. लाइक समटाइम वी हैव वांट अ गुड प्रोजेक्ट टू डील विद, ओके, बट वी डोंट नो व्हाट कैन बी आवर टारगेट ऑडियंस वेयर वी कैन गेट गुड प्रोजेक्ट आउट ऑफ लिंक्डइन. So either you
Understood.
have to run your ads or something to get to, or attract your customer. Then again, it need a good personal branding, because right now you have a new start. People will not like to believe in that, and they wanted to check their own competitors. They have their own research. So there we get stuck, because again the project we do a lot of follow-ups, but we end up not getting the project.
So that happens all the time where as a freelancer or as a small agency, you reach out to many companies and most companies won't respond. Okay, that's
Yeah.
a part of India's culture where people find it easy to ghost rather than responding. But for you, precisely about LinkedIn, if you see the algorithm, text get the least amount of engagement. Visual representation, pictures get second best amount of representation, engagement, and videos as a content mode gets the maximum amount of engagement right now. Okay. So I would strongly say don't put blogs there for a design UI designer portfolio. Put engaging contents in visual forms. Like what I've seen doing my UI and UX friends and experts is they will create two designs for a very simple like Google page for design. And one may they will put a Google sign-in image in red, and another they will put a sign-in image in black. I'm just giving a hypothetical example. Yeah. And they'll ask people for their opinion. Which one do they like more? So that creates an engagement on your post. If you if you like the green color, and comment if you like the white color, whatever color.
Yeah, some trendy
designs, and tag relevant what you call hashtags there. Like for UI, I'm sure there will be a couple of 3 or 4 or 5 hashtags which most people who either want to hire UI agencies, they would be following, like hashtag UI work or hashtag design work. I don't know exactly about कौन सा hashtag वहाँ पे चलता है. वो hashtag को वहाँ पे add कीजिए. And if possible, you have friends in your circle, in your network on LinkedIn who are into similar things, who are also interested in LinkedIn, or sorry, not LinkedIn, UI, tag them also and ask for their opinion. So क्या उनका second degree connection will get opened up for you.
Okay.
So when I am hiring, so most of the time I tag a couple of my HR recruiter friends.
Okay.
So their network gets opened up for us. So I can only see my first degree and second degree, right? I can't see third degree, but their second degree can also see now. So create small visual engaging content and ask people to come and answer your whatever, seek their opinion. And if you seek my opinion in a text format, I will not come and write. मुझे उतना नहीं लिख पाऊंगा. But you just ask me like or comment.
Simplify.
So it doesn't add value. जितने minimum जो UI की तो principle ही है ना, minimum number of clicks में maximum possible काम होना चाहिए. तो वो आप follow करो UI के लिए. That is what I think. And अगर उसमें होता है तो अपने एक portfolio का link भी डाल दो उसमें. So don't put a link which takes you out of LinkedIn. LinkedIn kills those posts. Put a link which is within LinkedIn only. Like blog का link अगर कुछ डालना है, या डिजाइन मुझे नहीं पता, LinkedIn में डिजाइन के लिए अभी तक कुछ नहीं आया है. But put a link which is within LinkedIn only.
Okay.
LinkedIn doesn't allow as an algorithm to move you out of LinkedIn.
Okay. Great. And one more thing, I don't know if it is out of the context, but still I would like to ask. When we are creating our personal branding, so there's a statement also, like every company has their statement. So we have one, but I feel that's not like उससे connect नहीं कर पाते हैं audience से, so still we are मतलब ये नहीं समझ में आ रहा है हमें कि how do we find out the right brand statement for that, like people whom we are helping, or because it is for B2B and B2C both, so sometimes we don't know कि मतलब अभी तक वो समझ में नहीं आया कि एक राइट स्टेटमेंट क्या हो सकता है कि अगर ये एपिसेंटर है आपकी कंपनी का तो आपने ये सोचा और आपके दिमाग में ये आ गया, लाइक इफ आई टेल लाइक कैब तो ओला मेरे माइंड में आ जाएगा, लाइक दैट.
So this is again a part of branding, Ravina. If you Google or go on YouTube and Google some videos or tutorials around how to build taglines of companies, ठीक है? So उसमें आप देखोगे there are 3-4 things which are most important, where what you are doing, how are you different from a competitor, and for whom are you doing. Like these 3 things should come out in your tagline. Like BMW launched a luxury car for sports enthusiasts who seek luxury, unlike Mercedes, unlike the users who buy Mercedes. ऐसा कुछ लिखा था उन्होंने. तो जिनको लग्जरी चाहिए इन द एज एंड जो स्पोर्ट्स एंथुसियास्ट हैं उनको BMW एक डिफरेंट एक्सपीरियंस दे रहा है. व्हाट एम आई डूइंग, फॉर whom am I doing, and how am I different from my competitor. ये 3 चीज जनरली अगर टैगलाइन में आ जाती है आपकी तो इट गेट्स अ रिकॉल वैल्यू जनरली. And keep it simple and short. That's what I will say. But there is no, I don't think there's any thumb rule for that. हमने तो 3-4 बार एक्सपेरिमेंट किया था, लोगों से बात की थी, कई बार हमने बीटा टेस्टिंग भी की थी कि which one do you find attractive, this one or this one. जहाँ पे जहाँ कमेंट्स आए लोगों के, फिर हमने वैसे स्टार्ट किया था.
Okay.
So it took me, मतलब जब when I came up with my tagline and all, so we did some beta testing and all, which one people found better and simpler and easy to pronounce was something we kept in mind.
Okay, great. So we are also like we have one, but still like we think sometimes that it's not like connect नहीं कर पा रहे. Say if as a layman, if I'm not able to connect,
so then
मतलब
there's no
as
point.
so हाँ, yeah, so that's why.
बेस्ट तो ऑप्शन होगा कि आपने फेसबुक व्हाट्सएप स्टेटस पे डाल दो and ask people कि what does it mean. See how many give you the correct response.
Okay, great.
If come less than 50% people give you correct response, which means people are not able to understand your thing. And if possible उसमें टैगलाइन का कुछ विजुअल भी कर दो, रिप्रेजेंटेशन कई बार होता है. जैसे जिसका आप बोलते हैं जोमेटो का देख के समझ में आता है, अब तो चेंज कर दिया उन्होंने, बट समझ में आता है दैट्स अबाउट फूड. उन्होंने कटलरी बीच में डाली थी एंड टमाटो डाला था एंड ऑल. सो दैट विजुअल रिप्रेजेंटेशन इज इंपॉर्टेंट.
Okay, thank you so much, Piyush. Thank you.
Welcome.
Guys, anybody has any other question for Piyush?
Yeah. Hi. Hello, Himadri.
Okay.
Hey, Kev, how are you?
All good.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Hello, Piyush, sir. So my question is actually very basic. So I recently joined LinkedIn. It's been like 1 or 2 years, and I'm still struggling to post my first article or something like that. There are I'm in a SaaS sales, and I connect with very many CEOs, CXOs, and all. So whenever I think to post about my domain which I'm working in, I always get scared. What if I'll post something wrong or something very basic? So will it affect my connections and all these things? So it's kind of I'm not getting any kind of motivation to initiate this article thing and post my first article on LinkedIn. So how when you started, how did you get this motivation and you posted your first article?
And when I started, I had exactly same apprehension. I asked exactly same question to someone, and the exactly answer I got was, "भाई कर ले, करके देख ले, कुछ नहीं होएगा, nobody cares." Anyways, it's the first post, and I had like, obviously you also must not be having like a lot of connections right now, and if you don't get traction in the next 30 minutes, ठीक है, LinkedIn will anyways kill it. 30 minutes के बाद अगर कोई traction नहीं आता, 1 घंटे LinkedIn नहीं दिखाता है उसको किसी को भी. So there's nothing wrong in doing that. All influencers, I'm not an influencer, I don't count myself an influencer because whenever I use LinkedIn, it is for my use only. All people start small and with 1 or 2 posts. I'm sorry, not 1 or 2 months, 3 months, where you will not get any traction. It will take you a year's time to build a traction on LinkedIn. It's not a one-day's job. So just bindas जाके बस make sure there is no grammatical mistakes in that. अगर grammar mistake करते हो तो it doesn't sound good, but that's also okay. There's nothing wrong in that. Just go out and put. एक बार करोगे इसमें 5 इंटरेक्शन आएंगे, दूसरे में आपको 20 आएंगे, फिर 30 आएंगे, करते करते आपकी हिम्मत बढ़ जाएगी. It's very simple. There's no substitute of doing that. Just do it. Just keep a couple of rules like don't put any obscene things, don't put any negative things, don't put too lengthy article which people will not be able to read. That's it. So basic common sense है वो. मैंने तो वही follow किया था.
Thank you so much.
Just do it type से, मतलब रुको मत, कर लो. मैंने
Piyush
देखा
sir, I had one more question.
जी.
Sorry, I'll let you complete.
No, I've seen people who did not get any traction in the first couple of months, but gradually they started getting it. And क्या होगा ना, gradually when you put, so your confidence also keeps building. Rather than don't, and you will start that flair of writing. So आप खुद ही improve कर जाओगे, as a matter of fact. तो वो मतलब demotivation नहीं होगा most of the time. ट्विटर पे लोग डिमोटिवेटिंग होते हैं, वो दे स्टार्ट बैशिंग एंड ट्रोलिंग पीपल, बट लिंक्डइन पे ऐसा नहीं होता है. जी मार्क.
Piyush sir, am I audible?
Yep, you're.
Yes sir. So we use a lot of Sales Navigator and Zoom Info Link to get CXO's contact
Correct.
number, and sales calling is better than emailing is what they say in India. Do you have a list of maybe do's and don'ts that you use when you cold call people through Zoom Info Link or Sales Navigator?
नहीं, I personally don't. I have never done a cold calling. I have done cold emailing a lot. I have done cold messaging at times. But I am a pure play person who believes in content marketing. मैंने मुझे कभी cold calling, I'm not comfortable doing cold calling, to be honest. Because most of the time,
truthfully, even I am not comfortable, but when targets come right on your neck and you need to get that done, it feels very unnatural to do, and even I don't like it at all unless I get a response from somebody and they know my name and we've had a conversation over email, and then I call that person up. It feels more natural. It feels more in tune. But
so cold
when
calling,
you
to be
have
honest,
no other option, I have to pick up the phone and call. It feels a little difficult. So any tips on that, sir?
To be honest, I'm not the correct person for that because I've never done that myself. I know people have to do it. So like, I bought an Airtel SIM because people called me once. But that the timing was so perfect. I was actually looking for an Airtel SIM that time, SIM. And I got a cold call and I bought it. But that, I think that happens once in a million where the timing's so perfect. I don't know. I'm not the correct person to say that. I have never been successful in a cold calling. एक दो बार try करा था, नहीं हुआ. लोगों ने phone पटक दिया. So I have always believed.
पटक दिया तो ठीक है sir, गालियाँ खानी पड़ती है तो बहुत बुरा लगता है.
So sorry, I have never tasted success in that, so I can't comment there.
I've got lady HRs who I call up to and they tell you don't know decorum, you don't know, you don't have decency to drop somebody an email before. And I have dropped the email, but I've not got a response. So that's the reason I clearly conveyed to them that I dropped an email, I didn't get a response, but then I get shot down so badly that to pick up the phone and call up the next person becomes very difficult.
And that, so you will have to make your skin thick when you're in sales, right? So I was in an office in a CEO's office during my first venture in Sikkim, where he told me, had you not been a student of Manipal in next door, I would have thrown you out of the campus, my facility. Before I call security, you please go yourself. They told me that. That's okay. That's a part of sales. Apple India supply chain head, he told me, had I not liked your confidence, I would have thrown you out. But since you had the guts to walk into my office and barge into my office in this UB Towers in Bangalore, I am giving you time to talk. And that was all during my student days. not now. Obviously, I don't do that now. But स्टूडेंट्स में क्या है, तो वो तो थिक स्किन होना पड़ेगा आपको ना सेल्स में तो.
Yes, sir.
मुझे सिक्योरिटी वाले उठा के फेंकने वाले थे सीईओ के ऑफिस से.
वो तो guy never got the courage to do that anyways, sir.
बट एक बार आप वो कर लो, फिर आपको ये अप्रेंशन खत्म हो जाए.
ठीक है sir, I'll try it.
2 बार हुआ है. But
Great.
when you cold call someone, I think the good way is to, is it a good time? I am this, and is it a good time to talk about this particular thing? Set the agenda upfront itself. Don't waste somebody's time, because corporate, especially after COVID, everybody's on every time on call. Attention is anyways very less now.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Any other question, guys? None? Okay, I think Piyush, I don't see anybody. Okay, so I see someone who's trying to ask a question. Do we have a question in the forum?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, please go ahead. You're audible. Hello.
I think some network issue.
Could be. Okay, but thanks so much, Piyush. I think it was really lovely having insights on how do you use or rather leverage LinkedIn, especially to promote your personal brand. And I think the questions that you've addressed are something that we all face.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we will pick those experiences that you had in the past. And I'm sure Mark has a lot of insights now as to how does he come out of that ice box thing that he's facing. So thanks, everybody, and really thankful to you, Piyush, for taking out time and being part of the Juno community, and that was on a Saturday evening, considering that everybody has their engagements this time. And thank you, everybody, for being a lovely audience. And we will connect next Saturday, same time, 6 o'clock sharp, with another topic on sales. Till then, take care. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you, Piyush, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.